And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we get set for chase race number 6 of the season here in the NNSCRA Almond Joy Series. We are getting ready to go racing at Joltis Mega Super Speedway. 10 laps of racing. We're going to run these 10 laps completely caution-free because this is a really big racetrack, and that's why we're only running 10 laps as well, because it's going to take them a bit of time to actually complete a lap here today. So, a lot of time to be able to make moves up to the front of the field. Drivers that are back in 39th, 40th on that final row, plenty of time for them to make their way to the front. I mean, they can make their way to the front in about 2 laps. That's how quickly you can go to the front and fall to the back at this racetrack, and that could play a big factor into the outcome of what the point stands will look like for our final 4 chase races of the season. It's also an elimination race tomorrow for the Hershey's Cup Series, so you'll want to tune into that. J Lopes lines up on the pole here. We'll give you the point situation in just a moment. Let's go down trackside and get the command.
Is this on? Drivers, start your engines.
There's the command to fire him up. M Daleo, he won 2 weeks ago at Oswego, and then he ended up following it up with a great finish last week at Lime Rock. He is your points leader coming into today's race. 10 points advantage over second in the standings. That is John Andrews. Benny Watson is third in points. He's 11 points back. 12th in the standings, 12th in the standings. That was great. Fourth in the standings, rather, is Brooke Allen. She is 12 points back. That's where I got the 12 from. Fifth in points is Zachariah Hall. He is 17 points out. And sixth in points is K Jazzin, 18 points back. 24 points back in seventh is Nick Johnson. Mitchell Carter is 8th in the standings, 36 points back. 46 points back is James Qualls. He's 9th in points, and 10th in points is your pole sitter, J Lopes. He comes into this race 57 points out of the points lead. K Breton, he's 11th in the standings, 59 points back, and J Kurtis is 12th in the standings. He is 86 points out. If you haven't tuned into the last couple of races, J Kurtis, things have just not gone well for that team. And while it's still kind of early still to say here in the chase, he might be out of the championship picture, depending on if he can really get himself on a good streak of finishes in the next few weeks. Just checking the back of the field to make sure everybody is good to go, because for some reason it was appearing that the drivers were taking a little bit of time bunching up there, so I wanted to make sure nobody had any mechanical issues. You can see all the chasers that have qualified up here near the front of the field. Of course, Lopes on the pole, Carter right behind him. Row 3, you got K Jazzin and K Breton. Brooke Allen rolling off there from the 9th position. It looked like 12th starting spot for Zachariah Hall. So we're going to have to see if track position is key at a track like this. M Daleo comes in the points leader. He's rolling off, I think, back in the 35th position. So got to see how soon it takes for how quickly the 78's able to work his way up to the front of the field. Keep in mind, M Daleo, one of his 3 wins this season came at a super speedway, and that was the very first race of the season at Daytona. So Daleo knows how to get it done at these super speedways, as does J Lopes. I mean, not surprised to see Lopes starting on the pole here. Lopes, one of his 2 wins came at Talladega Super Speedway this season. So, yeah, not a surprise to be seeing him up at the front either. Here we go, though. Here's the long front straightaway. Pace car is going to peel down towards the long access road, towards pit road. And here we go. Remember, no caution, so if we have a big wreck, they don't bunch back up. We race to the checkers. Green flag is out in chase race number 6 at Joltis. And this track can hold them 5 wide, sometimes 6 wide, and already they're going 4 wide further back. Brooke Allen, Seth Cole, last week's winner Richard Johnson from Lime Rock down there on the inside line rather, with Zach Rogers helping him. They are still 4 wide back here. 4 wide, about maybe 2, possibly 3 rows deep. And we got a battle up here as this is going on behind them. K Jazzin to the inside of William Brock, but we got to stay back here because, oh my goodness, they're 5 wide. Here we go. This is what I love about Joltis. Look at Jesse Turner, way up there, almost literally touching the wall, running a kind of a junior line here at Joltis. Oh, trouble's going to break out here if it does. They'll probably be able to hold it, but, I mean, they can't lean on each other. Oh, look at this. Nick Johnson, they are 6 wide. Here we go. then Joltis, and its 6 wide formations is coming here in the early stages. Whoa, a couple of cars down the apron. J Qualls, Grayson Acevedo, they're beating and banging, but they get back up on the racing surface. We're still keeping it together. Good gravy, that was crazy. Look at Matthew Daleo there on the inside line saying, you guys just do what you do. I'm going to try and get up here to the front, stay out of trouble. As we got some stragglers there at the back, P Minnick, Jesse Turner, Chris Dollerton, and William Brock. Oh, a couple more cars down the apron. That's J Jefferson, and he sends some more. Stoudimere Jr. up into the wall. Up into the air goes Connor Breton. Another car around, that's Jesse Turner. Connor Breton, the first chase driver to encounter problems here. Colin Denton had damage. I think we just had another wreck. No, we didn't. I just heard some more contact somewhere. Did somebody else hit someone back here? Oh, maybe not. Colin Denton, Amora Stoudimere Jr., Connor Breton, and Jesse Turner are the 4 that really got involved in that one. As back up front, it is still Jordan Lopez out in front. Mitchell Carter there in second. A couple of chasers running 1-2. But again, while that's going on, single file, they are still 3 wide, almost 4 wide back here. Matthew Daleo right in the middle of all this. Now remember, that wreck happened, but we do not have caution flags, so they don't bunch back up. Here comes Nick Johnson up the inside line in that 42. There's Benny Watson in the 89. James Qualls in the 27. Number of chasers just trying to get themselves up to the front of the field here. Trying to get up there in the vicinity of other chasers like Lopez, Carter, and Jazzin, who are running first, second, and fourth right now. James Qualls, who had that near miss a couple of, about a lap ago, nearly getting wrecked by Grayson Acevedo. He's still in this. Brooke Allen's being put way up to the high side there by Matthew Daleo, J Romero, and J Finguy. And there's the smoke lingering from where we had that first wreck. We talked about D Kurtis, how he could mathematically be out of the championship hunt. Well, Connor Breton getting involved in that wreck. He may be out of the championship hunt by the time we leave Joltis. As you're looking there at Tyler Markel in the 48, I think Markel is currently running in 6th place. So this is the battle for 6th. Top 5 have kind of broken away. You got Lopez, Carter, Zoerlein, and Shearer. That's the top 4. K Jazzin has lost touch with the top 4. He may end up slipping back here into this second pack. As up front, it's still Lopez, Carter, Shearer, and Zoerlein. 2 of these drivers have been to victory lane. Obviously, the 2 chase drivers, Lopez and Carter. K Shearer still looking for his first win. And so too is Jonathan Zoerlein. K Jazzin, 3 wins this season. All 3 in a row. And one of those wins came at Daytona. So K Jazzin with a super speedway win. Joseph Romero has now moved up to 6th, and there in 7th place is the points leader coming into this race, Matthew Daleo. That team was struggling near the beginning of this chase, but now after that win at Oswego 2 weeks ago, they have certainly picked it up. And Romero's going to move into the top 5, getting around K Jazzin. Look at Jazzin going up, trying to throw the block there on Matthew Daleo, and I believe that was Connor Breton, who is just now getting his disabled vehicle to pit road. Surprised that car is actually still running. That car was up in the air, up almost into the catch fence at one point. Move back up here towards the front. You can see K Jazzin now has been reeled in by this second group. Jazzin right now holding solidly in the 6th position though. As we got some chasers going 3 wide, actually 4 wide here. Daleo being put in the sucker hole there in the middle. Brooke Allen, Benny Watson there, Nick Johnson. There's Jesse Turner on the inside line. Oh, don't come up, Jesse. Don't come up, Jesse. Oh, I think he got hit by someone. Might have been Julio Cesar. It might have been Jeremy Jones. He saved it, though. He got sideswiped by somebody. Just bringing his car back up the racetrack, and that was not wise. As Benny Watson working here with Brooke Allen on the inside line. They're trying to move their way up to the front. Benny Watson, a couple of weeks ago, heading into Oswego, was the points leader and now finds himself 3rd in points, 11 points out of the lead. He was able to get by Matthew Daleo, as we can clearly see there. And John Anderson, oh, trouble! Seth Cole turns Richard Johnson. Johnson clips Eric Heiden. And John Andrews was collected. We were just going to go back and look at him. John Andrews was just collected in this, and the car is smoking. And does DJ Kurtis have damage? I don't know. Eric Heiden. John Andrews, I think, just teleported to pit road. And Richard Johnson, last week's winner, looked like he got flat out dumped by that driver, Seth Cole in the 99. Oh, man. I was just going to jump back and talk about John Andrews, actually, because Andrews comes into this race second in the point standings. And it looks like he may finish this race out and in the garage area. Meanwhile, 4-car breakaway at the front of the field as we are halfway through this race now. Jordan Lopez out in front. Jonathan Zoerlein in second. Battle is on for third between K Shearer and Mitchell Carter. Now for Lopez, he comes into this race 10th in the point standings. Mitchell Carter comes in 8th, so well-needed runs for both of these drivers to try and get themselves back in the championship picture. K Jazzin comes into this race 6th in points. But there is Daleo. Daleo is still up here inside the top 10 now. Trying to get to the inside of K Tsang. I believe that would be for the 7th spot. Benny Watson still within striking distance. Brooke Allen still right there as well. They're top 5 in the points. 4th and 5th, or make that 3rd and 4th rather, in the standings. But John Andrews, I mean, this is definitely going to hurt that 44 team. Only driver right now that is officially out of the race is Connor Breton. Jesse Turner a lap down, John Andrews and Richard Johnson a lap down. Gonna look and see if we can find, I think the 44 teleported to pit road, but I'm not certain. Well, not gonna be able to find the 44 that way. Let's try it this way. Yeah, there is Andrews on pit road. And I would think Richard Johnson, there's Richard. Richard Johnson's on pit road as well. You gotta think both these drivers are gonna be retiring at some point. I don't think they're gonna be able to get those cars repaired. Well, right now, 36 of our 40 drivers are still on the lead lap. And Jordan Lopez trying to join Matthew Daleo and K Jazzin as a 3-time winner this season. He has a win at Talladega, he has a win at Salem. And he'd love to have a win here at Joltis. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this would be the first time in NNSCRA history overall that we have ever had 3 drivers be 3-time winners in a series. If Lopez can close the deal. K Shearer right there. K Shearer has played bridesmaid so many times this season. And he would love to be able to finally not be a bridesmaid here at Joltis. He wants to win this thing, but he kind of needs some help to be able to get some draft past the 51. People have been able to get to Lopez's back bumper, but nobody's really made the move. I don't know if they're biding their time and waiting, or if they just cannot get enough of a run to make a move to the inside. Right now, according to my calculations, we have 6 chasers running inside of the top 10. Lopez, Carter, Watson, Daleo, Jazzin. Oh wait, no, it's actually 5 chasers. Brooke Allen was in the top 10, but she's now slipped back to 14th. Let's give you where the chasers are currently running in this race. Lopez shows the way. Mitchell Carter is 4th. Benny Watson 6th. Matthew Daleo 7th. K Jazzin 9th. Brooke Allen runs in 14th. James Qualls up to 15th. Zachariah Hall is 17th. Nick Johnson runs in 20th. DJ Kurtis is 28th. And out of the race are the cars of John Andrews and Connor Breton. With Kurtis running as far back as he is and Connor Breton out of the race, we may now officially have 2 drivers mathematically out of the championship picture, being Breton in the 17, Connor and DJ Kurtis in the 33. Jordan Lopes, talk about a driver that really needs a shot in the arm of momentum, comes in 10th of the 12 chase drivers, 57 points back. This is going to be a good points day for him. The bad thing, however, for Lopes is the fact that a number of other drivers he's trying to pass in the point stands are also having good runs right now. Benny Watson, Brooke Allen, Zachariah Hall, Matthew Daleo. They're all running well, as is K Jazzin, and also Nick Johnson not having that bad of a run. So Lopes, he's going to reap the rewards of good points today, no doubt. He's probably going to finish in the top 5, but unfortunately for him, a lot of other drivers are also running well. As it sounds like these drivers may be encountering somebody. That is A Stoudimere Jr. in the 88, who I believe is on the tail end of the lead lap. And they are going to catch her. And this could make a very interesting battle here for the lead. Nope, Zoerlein went to the inside. Stoudimere stayed down there. Lopes around the outside, going to keep the race lead. However, here's the interesting thing. Lopes just got out to a bit of a gap, and that could allow Carter and Shearer and Zoerlein to be able to work together, get a good draft, and catch back up to the 51. Meanwhile, back here, you got some chasers trying to settle out positions. Watson and Jazzin and Daleo. You got Joseph Romero, former winner at Infineon up here in this group. K Tsang, runner-up finisher in the Daytona first race. As well as T Markel in the 48. That's 6th back through 11th. No, I'm sorry, 5th back through 10th place, actually. Look at Mitchell Carter trying to work with K Shearer to catch up to Jordan Lopes, but Shearer going to step out of line, and that's not going to help them in making any progress in trying to pass the 51. Shearer trying to get to the inside, now gets to the left rear. And the thing that's not on the side of these drivers is time. They are going to have the white flag displayed next time by. And that's only given them about 4 more corners to be able to make a move here on Jordan Lopes. Shearer now the wingman for that duo of himself and Mitchell Carter. Jonathan Zoerlein trying to catch up, trying to make it a 3-car draft. And here we go. White flag's going to be displayed. The 14 and the 52 have to work together if they're going to keep Jordan Lopes from winning this race. And Mitchell Carter, maybe, I guess, surrendering here that... Well, I thought he was surrendering the win to Lopes. Seemed to be trying to go instead for 2nd place on Shearer, but now sticks in line with Shearer. And look at this. They're getting a run. They're getting a run through this corner. Can they get to the back bumper of Lopes coming down this straightaway? Zoerlein trying to catch up. Trying to help be a factor in this as well. Lopes going to have to do some mirror driving. K Shearer, will he be able to make the move? And if he makes the move, is Mitchell Carter going to go with him? This is the perfect time right here for K Shearer to make a move if he's got any momentum. He's got to do it now. Carter steps out. Shearer does not. What is Shearer waiting on? Is Shearer waiting till the final corner? That may be too little too late. Shearer's got to do it now on this next straightaway, or else Lopes is going to win this race. Carter steps out. Is Shearer going to go outside there as well? Shearer still riding. Carter seems willing to go with Shearer if Shearer will go, but Shearer refusing to still make a move. Might be waiting here to the final corner. They're coming to the checkered flag. Shearer's got to make the move here. Carter trying to help Shearer maybe, but Shearer lost a little ground there and not going to be able to make the move. Jordan Lopes becomes the 3rd 3-time winner this season. Takes the checkered flag here today at Joltis. Boy, I don't know if it was the fact that Shearer couldn't make the move, or he didn't want to make the move, or he just wanted to try and find out what the 52 was going to do. But from my view, it looked like Mitchell Carter was saying, hey, you want to step out and go for the lead, I'll push you there. And Shearer never stepped out of line. And K Shearer, who it looked like had someone willing to push him to the win, this time I don't think has anyone to blame but himself in coming up a bridesmaid once again in an Almond Joy Series race. Jordan Lopes joins Matthew Daleo and K Jazzin as a 3-time winner here in the Almond Joy Series. History has been made. First time we've ever had three-time winners in an NNSCRA series. Standings, I believe, would be official. I don't know if they are waiting for Chris Dollerton to cross the line. I believe he's the last car on the lead lap, and he was just ahead of the race leaders. But I think this is basically going to be how they'll finish this race anyway. So the standings are practically all but official. Jordan Lopes is going to win this race here today. I believe he is the second driver to win a chase race this season. No, I'm sorry. He is the third driver to win a chase race this season, joining the likes of both Matthew Daleo and Benny Watson. K Shearer will finish second, Mitchell Carter third, and Jonathan Zoerlein in fourth. Those 4 drivers were all but guaranteed a top 5 finish since they had that breakaway from the rest of the field. Joseph Romero will finish the day out in 5th, K Tsang in 6th. 7th place will be Matthew Daleo, so he will definitely keep the points lead going into next week. Benny Watson finishes 1 position behind him in 8th, so Watson will more than likely be 12 points back of Matthew Daleo heading into next week's race. T Markel will finish in 9th, and K Jazzin finishes in the top 10, so we had 5 chase drivers finish in the top 10 here today. The rest of your chasers, where did they finish? B Allan finishes in 14th, Zachariah Hall in 16th, 17th for J Qualls, Nick Johnson in 22nd, J Kurtis finishes 27th, and then out of the race were the cars of John Andrews in 38th and Connor Breton in 40th. We had 35 of our drivers finish on the lead lap, 37 drivers were still running, and 3 drivers finished this race behind the wall. Standings are official. Jordan Lopes, officially your winner here at Joltis. We'll have to see what happens as far as the point standings heading into next week. I don't right off the top of my head remember where we're going next week. We might be going to a certain track. However, I think it was a track I was planning on replacing in the schedule. So, if that's the case, we may be heading to a debuting track. We'll have to find out. I didn't really look at the schedule before recording this race, so I'm not exactly certain. But I do know what's up next here for NNSCRA Racing, and that is the Hershey's Cup Series second elimination race. We are going to be finding out what 8 drivers will be moving on to the Elite 8 and what 4 more drivers will have their Hershey's Cup Series championship hopes dashed at this mega super speedway. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this race, you should give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We've shown your full finish results. Up next come your overall points days and your chase points heading into next week, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.